Hey everyone, I'm Brad. Have you ever wondered how rich you would be if you could have invested in Apple when they were still working out of a garage, or in Amazon when Jeff Bezos still had hair? Well, every company was a startup at some point, and you can invest in startups before they go public and before those stock prices shoot through the roof. I'm going to show you how to do that in this video right now, so let's jump in.
All right, we are in the computer. So today we are talking about angel investing, aka venture capitalism, aka equity crowdfunding. So starting off on the Wikipedia page for angel investing, just to give you guys a quick rundown of what it is. Basically, it's an individual who provides capital for a business startup, usually in exchange for convertible debt or ownership equity, and really that's what we're talking about here, is buying equity in a company for your money through equity crowdfunding. So this is how you can get into startup companies, all the way in the beginning before their valuations start to really ramp up and it gets expensive to buy their shares. So this is a good Wikipedia page, Angel Investor. Check it out if you want more information on it. Real quick, I'm going to jump down here and show you guys the kind of returns that we're looking at, because that's what we're really interested in. We want to know if we're going to be putting our money into this, if we're going to be making good money off of that, right? Scroll down here to the investment profile. Real quick, angel investments bear extreme high risks and are usually subject to dilution from future investment rounds. As such, they require a very high return on investment. Because a large percent of angel investments are lost completely when early-stage companies fail, professional angel investors seek investments that have the potential to return at least 10 or more times their original investment within 5 years through a defined exit strategy, such as plans for an IPO or an acquisition. So we're talking about 500% return potential, right? That's the average that they're looking for on these deals, because when you're investing in startups, sometimes these startups are never even going to make it public. They're going to fail. You're going to lose your money. And other times, you're going to be investing in things like Facebook when they were still operating out of a college dorm, and then 10, 15 years later, they're worth $1 billion. So there's an extreme amount of volatility between the companies that you're going to be investing in. You're going to have a lot of busts and you're going to have a lot of booms. And over time, if you invest in enough of them, you should see an average return of 20 to 30% a year. So that's pretty incredible when we compare it to the S&P 500. For example, that has returned 6.7%. Notice this return period is between 2006 and 2016, so it's not including the last 4 years of returns on the S&P 500, which would skew this up to probably into the 10% range. But still, you can see 20% IRR compared to 10% on the S&P 500 is still going to be pretty significant difference on the returns for your money. So that's why angel investing is so attractive, is the returns are just so great. If you invest in 10 companies and you put $100 into each of them, you've invested $1,000, and even if 9 of them bust, if that one that you hit on, goes from a $1 million company to a $1 billion company, you're making a ton of money, even if 90% of the projects you invest in fail. So that's the idea here. So let's jump into some websites that you can do this through. So I just did a quick Google search for angel investing, and tons of websites come up. I clicked on some of the best ones and pulled them up, or what I thought looked the most interesting, and I pulled them up and I have them ready to show you guys. This one is called Micro Ventures. It's just microventures.com, and they have invested in projects in the past like Airbnb, Slack, Spotify, right? These are huge names. Palantir, Robinhood. If you're into investing, you know what Robinhood is. These are really successful companies, and I don't have an account with Micro Ventures, but with them being on the front page, that is telling me that there was an opportunity in the past for people to invest into these kinds of companies back when they were still starting up. So they were getting in at the ground floor, dirt cheap share prices. They probably made a killing when Spotify and Slack went public. A lot of these are still not public yet, but I believe Palantir is looking at an IPO soon, so anybody that got into Palantir through micro ventures is going to be making a ton of money soon when they go public. So things like that. That's the idea here, and you can you can go visit their full portfolio and check out what other ventures that they have to offer. So you basically just sign up and you put your money in, and then you pick a project to invest into. You look through all of the projects that they have to offer, and whatever looks good to you. You need to do your research on these projects first ahead of time so that you're reducing your risk to a bust, and you're investing in things that you really have a good idea of, things that you know and things that you like, as always. So yeah, this is another page on microventures that shows all of their projects that they've invested in the past, and it's sorted by alphabetical order, and the list here is just insane. The number of projects that they've invested in and the quality. So we just sift through these. I mean, you guys can do this. Just go to microventures.com, but real quick, I'm going to show you a couple that I saw earlier that are pretty crazy, like Facebook. I mean, are you kidding me? That Facebook is worth hundreds of billions of dollars now. Imagine if you got in when they were worth, I don't know, a million, 10 million, 100 million. I don't know how much they were worth when they were crowdfunding through microventures, but you made a killing if you got into them a while back. So, I mean, there's just, Lyft. There's all kinds of stuff here. Even if you just invested in microventures, because there's a good chance that microventures has a pretty good business model, and they're making some good money if they've managed to team up with companies like these. Palantir, we already talked about. Pinterest, that's a big company. Ripple, one of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the world right now. Billions of dollars. What is this, Snapchat? There you go, Spotify. So lots of good companies here. Topgolf, oh man, that is fun. If you've never gone to Topgolf, go if you haven't had a chance. It's a lot of fun. Twitter, Uber, got lots of things here. That Yelp, ooh, good stuff here. All right, so that is microventures, and that's just one equity crowdfunding website that you can get into angel investing through. There's lots of other ones. Like I said, just Google angel investing, and a lot of these will come up. Another one I found is called Start Engine. You got Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful himself, I believe he's called. So they've got a lot of examples on here as well, like Jet Token. I've been seeing like advertisements online for them. That's like private air taxis, basically. What else do we got on here? Oh yeah, look at that, Mr. Wonderful. Nightscope was one that I was looking at earlier. This is basically, crime-fighting, fully autonomous security robots. That's pretty crazy. I pulled this up. You can look at the numbers on here. This isn't available to, offering closed. It's not available anymore, but it's still just interesting just to get an idea of the kind of startups that you can invest in. This is crime-fighting robots. How neat is that? And this website seems to have a little bit more information on the kinds of projects than others that I found. Down here, let's see where we at. They've got lots of metrics on this startup that you can dive into just to get an idea of the people that are behind the project, their projections, what their business model is like, their revenue streams, profitability. See right here, over a target life of 5 years, we project a profit of up to $250,000 per robot. So that's kind of neat. So you can start to get an idea off that. Okay, if you think you're going to make $250,000 per robot, how many robots do you have? How many are you operating right now? And boom, that's you can get an idea of total revenue and total profit off of that. Roughly, these are very rough. They're still in their startup phase. There's going to be unforeseen expenses, obstacles along the way, just like any business startup. But it gives you a better idea of what you're investing in. So I thought that was kind of neat. Nightscope. So here's one called SeedInvest. Looks like, I'm assuming this is their CEO on Mad Money with Jim Cramer, so that's pretty cool. One neat feature that they have on SeedInvest that I didn't see in the others is auto invest, and the others may have this option. It just wasn't as obvious to see if you haven't signed up yet. But if you enroll in auto invest, you can set your contribution. Say you want to contribute $200 a month to startups, and you have a transfer set up from your bank account to invest $200 a month. It's going to pick projects for you based off of certain factors that you tell it, and just automatically put that $200 into certain startup. It's far more hands-off, obviously, so you don't have as much control over what you are investing in, which can be a concern for some people. But if you are the kind of person where you just want to invest but you don't want to think about it, you just want to kind of set it and forget it, auto invest may be a feature that you're looking for. It's kind of neat. It makes it a lot easier, right? So here's WeFunder. It's just wefunder.com, another angel investing site, and yeah, they've got a lot of their projects right here on the front page, and I thought this one looked really interesting, so I pulled it up. Boxable, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Boxable, but it's basically, yeah, so here you go, mass production of upscale affordable housing. Just tiny homes that are really well built for really low cost. I don't know what their profitability would be like on it, but they've got a bunch of metrics down here for you guys to look at. 2.8 million raised so far, paid customer deposits for more than 2,000 houses so far, potential for $100 million in revenue growing every day, $36 million in purchase orders, $106 million in letters of intent. I mean, they've got all kinds of numbers down here for you guys to look at. Really cool. So they got lots of documents that you can download and take a look at. I thought this was a really interesting project. So let's see, you got, oh, it almost sold out. So $1,000 minimum, $42 million pre-money valuation. So really interesting project here. That might be something that I get into. They're based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. So very cool. That's at wefunder.com, another angel investing site to look at. And then the last one I have for you guys is Funders Club, and that's fundersclub.com. And they, right here on their home page, you can see that they have had projects in the past like Instacart, GitLab, and Bark. So those are all pretty big companies. It's pretty nice to be able to have that on your front page to kind of grab the attention of investors. But looks like, let's see if they have a bigger portfolio that we can look at. Portfolio. Oh, Coinbase was the one that I wanted to show you. I don't know why that's not showing on their front page, but yeah, so they oh, here we go. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's a bigger carousel. So Coinbase, if you guys are into cryptocurrency, anybody that knows anything about cryptocurrency at this point has probably heard of Coinbase. It's probably the biggest crypto exchange out there at this point. So they were a seed investor at one point for Coinbase, so that's pretty huge. Looking at the rest of their portfolio, they got Instacart, Slack also raised money through fundersclub, so that's pretty cool. DoorDash, got some decent stuff on here. So, and then this fundersclub.com is where I found this internal rate of return calculator that I showed you earlier in the video. So you can put in, that Wikipedia page told us we can expect an average of 20 to 30% internal rate of return. So we dropped in the 20 just to keep it on the conservative end compared to the return of the S&P 500, and you can see that angel investing is just far more profitable if you are diversifying among a bunch of different startups, so that you don't put all your money into one startup and that one busts. Then obviously your internal rate of return is going to be 0%. You lost all your money. So if you diversify across a good amount of companies, you're going to have some busts, you're going to have some successes, and it should average out to 20 to 30%, and you should make some really good money off this. And you know what? It's just fun. It's really fun to put your money into a startup company and then just root for that company. You want to see them do well. It's really cool tracking their progress all along the way. Kind of like a stock, but I feel like you are a little bit more invested in when you're angel investing than when you own shares of a stock. I don't know why. It's just a feeling that I get. It's kind of a pride thing. Like, yeah, I was at the ground floor with this company, as they were coming up, and when they go public, you make all your money. You can choose to sell your shares at that point and cash in, or you can just hold on to it for even longer. Like, think of if you got into Facebook well before they went public as an angel investor. You could have sold your shares when they went public, and you would have made a lot of money, or you could have hung on to them for another 10, 15 years and made even more money. You don't always just have to sell at the first chance, so some things to think about. So that is angel investing, and it's another way to invest your money.
Okay, that's all I have for this video. So the big things to remember with angel investing is you are investing in a startup company still at the very beginning of its journey. So while you're giving your money to this company to use for their ventures, so it could take a long time to get a return on that investment, if you ever do at all. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to get your money back until they go public. So angel investing is very high risk, very high reward. Oftentimes, you will either make a ton of money on an investment, or you will never see that money again. But as I showed in the computer, returns on average, if you do enough of this, it will average out to be a pretty worthwhile investment overall. So good luck, everyone, on your investments. And if you learned something from this video or you enjoyed it, please consider going down below the video, hitting that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below for me. Thanks.